Stay at home on 9 to 5, raising your babies with joy and pride. A real ass mom, you're a real ass mom. Taking care of business. Ooh, girl, you're resilient. 'Cause you're a real ass mom. A real ass mom.
Welcome to the Real Mama Pod.
I'm your host, Devin.
And I'm your host, Kendra.
We are real moms.
Sharing real experiences.
The things people don't tell you.
Hey, Mama, hey.
Hey, mama, hey. How you doing, friend?
Friend?
Friend.
You giving me country girl
Country.
twang? Okay. New York. I'm good. How are you?
I cannot complain. I'm going to say that.
Okay.
We made it.
We did, y'all. Well,
Wait.
first,
Mm-hmm.
who are we?
Who are we?
Who are you?
I'm your host, Devin.
And I'm your host, Kendra. Welcome to the Real Mama Pod.
Hey, y'all.
So, Devin and I are closing out our second season.
Can y'all believe that?
I just can't.
Especially the people who've been riding with us from day one. First of all, we apologize.
And we thank you.
And we thank you.
We
Yes.
thank you for sticking it out with us for 2 seasons now.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot believe we made it to 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just, and it ain't no, little bitty episodes. We've done a lot of
Yes.
content.
And you know what's crazy? I know I keep saying this, but motherhood is so broad and we haven't even scratched the surface. It's crazy because when we started this podcast, we thought we knew everything about mamahood.
Right.
And we thought we can talk about mamahood all
Right.
day, every
Talk
day,
with the best of them.
just based on our experiences. And it's just like, wait, no, what?
Mm-hmm.
There is so much that comes with being a mama, and everybody experience is different.
Yeah.
And every mother experience matter.
Yeah.
So
That's why we have this platform.
yes, and we hope one day we just have a library full of episodes, and no matter what you going through,
Like,
you can
ooh.
pull an episode and you're like, oh, I can relate to that.
Mm-hmm. Just flick
So-
through the catalog and say, you know what? This is the episode I need to listen to because this is what I got going on, or
Right.
my friend got going on, or my
Mhm.
cousin got going on,
Mhm.
or whoever.
Yeah.
We want this whole podcast to be a resource for mamas to be whomever.
Yes. So I am grateful for that. I'm
Yeah.
so grateful for that, and for us to have this platform. All the compliments that we get do not go unnoticed, and they mean the world to us,
Mhm.
seriously, because it's what keeps us going.
Yeah.
There are times where we want to quit and be like,
Yes.
you know what, this ain't worth it. Like, but then we always get somebody,
Some type of confirmation to
yes,
keep going.
that keep going. You're like, you know what, we cannot stop. We just can't.
Yes, this podcast has tried the hell out of us in so many ways,
So-
and I think it's good to talk about that. Like,
Mhm.
it's not easy. Devin and I are both busy moms and
Mhm.
wives, and we have things going on in life that oftentimes conflict with this podcast. But I'm proud of us for making it happen despite
Yeah.
life.
Despite life,
happening.
just life in general. And we had a guest too. I don't know if you guys listened to our self-care episode, but she was like, this is therapy for y'all, apples. She was like, this is therapy for y'all too. And I was like, you know what, it is. Now I wish we could just show up, record, and leave.
Go on.
And I feel like that would be more therapeutic.
Day.
And I really feel like, okay, this is therapeutic. But right now it's like the hustle and bustle, because as you guys know, we run our social media pages.
Mhm.
We are audio engineers, okay, by trade. We are
Visual engineers.
yeah, it's videographers at this point. Self-learned, and so it's just, or self-taught, should I say. So it has been a learning curve, but even learning all these things, I never in my life thought I would know how to do half the things that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I am grateful for that. And
Yeah.
it's been a journey.
It has, but it's been a good ride, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens for the Real Mama Pod in 2024.
Yeah, season 3 is gonna come out some banging. I'm gonna tell you that some head hitters,
Heavy
heavy hitters. See, look, time for me to go to bed.
hitter.
Heavy
Bust
hitters. No, I'm not. That is behind me now. I don't do those things anymore.
All right, reformed mama.
Yeah, I am very reformed, and now I'm a grandma. Okay, and I don't do those things.
Oh, all right. Grandmas be busting heads too, low
Not
key.
this one.
Okay.
I hung my boxing gloves up.
Boy, that's funny.
Yeah.
So, friend, what is something that excited you about this season?
Oh, we had so many aha moments, right? And we had some amazing guests. And all our guests are great. Like, there's not one person that been on our show and was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for this interview to be over, or this is not a good fit. What are we doing? Like, I'm always invested. Like, ooh, tell me more. I wish we can go for hours to talk about this. It's so hard to try to get such good, rich information from people and squeeze it into like 30 minutes to an hour, because it's just like there's so much it's so much more I want to ask. And that's how we always say we can't wait to have you back, because we're not done here. Like, and you have to come back. So yeah, just meeting new people too. We had a lot of new people that we didn't know this season, right? And it's like, how did you guys find us? And it's like, oh, through social media, through hashtags, through a Google search. And I'm just like, for real?
Right.
The stuff we're doing is working? Like, seriously? So that's been really cool too, because sometimes you don't always see the fruit of your labor. And sometimes, especially in the podcast world, because there's so many podcasts out there, right? So it's like, why us? Especially some like people like Deanna, that has a large following, that was on a TV show and stuff like that. It's just like, why us? Like, what sets us apart? And I had to change my mindset and say, why not us?
Right.
That's
a good way to reframe that.
Because we are thorough in what we do. We show up every single week with content. We research so much. We'll make sure we're very intentional about the questions that we're asking, not these basic behind questions. Like, we are really thinking about what we can ask these people, right? So I think that has been like my highlight.
Okay.
Of the season. How about you?
So part of what you shared was my highlight, and that is just building community. Like, this whole podcast world is completely new it's not completely new now, but when we started, fresh. It's still very fresh. But when we started, it was completely new. I had no idea of what I personally was getting myself into. And I'm sure Devin had the same experience, but now that we've been in this space for going on 2 years, we've met so many people who have been so nice and kind-hearted and have welcomed us into this podcast world with open arms. And I'm happy, I'm excited about the community that we have and the community that will come.
Yes, absolutely. Even, okay, and I hate to name drop, because then I'm like, dang, I forgot somebody. But just off the top of my head, like, the people who extended themselves over and beyond for us and didn't have to, like, I feel like we owe them that, if not anything else, because these are busy people. Like, let's just talk about Crystal, for example. She is the director of the Black Love podcast network, okay? And so we reached out to her. I don't even know why we reached out to her when we did, because we were not, now that I think about it, we were not ready. But we were like, oh, we need to get on the network, right? And we understand, like, that's God's timing too. Like, when it happens, it will happen. But we were fresh in the podcast game. Our audio sucked, when we reached out to her, but we thought it was so good, right? And so she actually took time and listened to our episodes and met with us and gave us some really good feedback, and then connected us with so many people, right? And was like, this is where you need to go. Like, you guys are doing great, but change this, do that. Like, told us to a T what we needed to do. And honestly, when we made those changes, we began to grow. So because we were like in a pigeonhole, we were okay with that. We didn't really know what to do and what to expect, but her just taking out the time to sit down with us and chat with us and not be a gatekeeper, right? Has been great.
Yeah, she was gold.
She's the GOAT
Still is.
in her industry, in this podcast industry too. Everybody knows her. And she probably won't ever see this, but thank you. Another person too, Sean D. Let me tell you about that. Okay. So Sean D, he's a great videographer, right? And he always posts things about new and the latest and greatest things you should have to make sure your content is top notch, right? And I'm like, Sean, like this stuff is like $3,000. Like
We can't afford
that. But what can we do to like improve what we're doing? And he gave us so many tips that instantly improved our audio and our video. And I'm just like,
stuff we're using right now.
Stuff we're doing right now. Because it was all of a matter of plug this here, change this, and do that. And we were like, okay. And I mean, just writing thorough DMs to us, checking on us. Hey, how did that work? Looking at our content, it's like, okay, I see what you did here, but just try this little tweak and it probably looked 1,000 times better. Did it? It worked. So
it did.
Even our videographer, Drew, okay?
Yeah.
Drew be looking out for us because we always got the sob story.
He do.
And he be like, don't worry about it. I got
y'all. That's always, I got y'all.
I'm proud of y'all. I mean, he watch our YouTube videos every single time we drop. Okay. And so it's just like that type of support.
Yes.
It's just crazy. And then lastly, Samaya. Samaya has definitely looked out for us.
She has.
It's been a point
the whole SC Content House crew.
The whole crew has just looked out for us. And it's just like, I feel like sometimes that's karma. Kendra and I are very good people and we always looking out for people, always trying to connect people. How can we make this better, right? And I feel like now it's our turn and people are like, okay, I see y'all consistent, right? I see y'all taking it serious, so I'm going to help you to the best of my ability. And so Samaya has been one of those people who is like, you know what? Yeah, I'm here. My content house is here. My podcast is on this level, but I'm still going to look out for you. You and Kendra. And she's done that. So
thank you, Samaya.
Yes, thank you.
Whole SC Content House crew.
Yes. And if you are a content creator, definitely check out her content house. She has affordable prices. She's easy to work with. And that's something you need as a beginner, right? Because you don't have a lot of money. You don't have a lot you don't know, and you don't have a lot of funding, but her staff is so knowledgeable. Like it feels good to just show up. And that's all you have to do. So, and they'll take care of you. So I know that was kind of off topic.
Well, I actually have two more people to add to that list.
Yeah.
Our husbands.
Oh yeah, of course.
So, I mean, that's a given, but I do want to acknowledge them because we cannot do this work without them. And I want to personally thank Jared and Jonathan for just being our support over the last going on 2 years, because Jonathan is he's the first ear for the podcast episode. Every episode he is on it, he got it downloaded, he's streaming it, he's giving us feedback. And Jared has really been a lot of like hands-on support with like these videos, audio, reels, everything. Like he's always giving us ideas. Jonathan is too. Like we would not be as successful as we are without the support of our husbands. So I do want to shout them out too.
And they allow us to do our thing. Like they'll take the kids and like take them for a whole day. And not that they're doing us any favors, because that's their kids too.
Right.
But you know, sometimes you have that guilt, like, oh my gosh, I'm like trying to chase my dreams, and like you're here with the kids, I should be with them too. And it's like, no, do your thing. Like we believe in this just as much as y'all do, and we want to see y'all succeed. So we got it. Don't call us. And we all right.
And we support each other with each other's dreams. Like they have dreams that we support them in, and this is a dream that they're supporting us in. So shout out to our husbands, because y'all are the goals.
Y'all still not getting paid. So
yeah, they have labeled themselves as our unpaid interns. So I mean, if I'm getting paid, you getting paid.
Right.
Shoot.
Right. There you go. Ain't no separate checks around here. That's good.
So what's going on in your brain, friend?
So you were supposed to tell me what were some of your highlights of the year. Did you tell me that already?
I told you I was
Okay.
excited about the community that
Okay.
we have built and will
Mhm.
continue to build.
Yes, I love
So,
our community. Oh my gosh. I just can't believe how we are just growing so much. And it may not be a lot to other people, but it's just a lot to us because we started from ground zero, right?
y'all,
We
it
built
was
it up
it was a
from
mess.
not that we have 100,000 followers, but we're grateful for every single follower that we have, every download that we receive, every YouTube view, every comment, every like, every just share. Like, y'all don't know how much that means to us.
It really means a lot.
It goes a long way.
Keep doing it too,
Every
y'all.
review, keep writing them reviews because y'all kind of slipped on that. But everything else, yeah, yes, we truly appreciate it. So 2024, we're taking a break. So if this is your first time listening, sorry that maybe you could binge the rest of our season 1 and season 2.
Yeah.
But we usually take a break at the end of November, and then come back mid-January. We came at the beginning of January last year. We figured we needed a little bit more time. Like we kind of rushed it a little bit. So we're doing a test, setting a boundary, and see how we do mid-January. So we'll see how that goes. But what are you excited for about 2024?
I'm excited about just our growth. Like, even though we grew this year, I didn't expect us to grow the way that we did. And I know it's a very cliche response, but that's genuinely my response. Like, I'm excited to see how we expand our communal activity, like what events we host,
Right.
what new people we engage in, what new festivals or events will we attend as the Real Mama Pod. Like, these are things that I look forward to when it comes to like our growth as podcasters.
Yeah. I'm super excited for our community events, and we did a domestic violence episode as well back in October, and that is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I really want to do something with that community, whether it's like a clothing drive or something. I do not know what that looks like, but I definitely want to connect with that community of moms, because I can only imagine how isolating that could be, and not having the support, or even trying to find a job. If they had to relocate, do they have clothes to do that? So maybe some type of clothing drive or something. I don't know what that looks like, but I really want us to do some community service. I'm big on community service.
Yeah.
And I really want us to do something like that. Again, don't know what that looks like, but when we create it, we would definitely love our followers, listeners, supporters to help us, get that off the ground.
And participate.
Yeah, participate for sure.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm excited to be connecting with people in our communities now. Like, we are really going to start not just being the podcast, but having events and connecting with mommies and aunties and daddies too, and kids. We'll have some kid stuff. We'll have stuff for just mom and rich auntie, and then we'll have a couple of things too. So I'm excited to roll that out. And then I'm excited for our retreat whenever that happens. I'm thinking that's more 2025 versus 2024.
No, it's not happening in 2024.
Yeah. I think that would be really good.
Cool. So what are y'all doing for the holidays this year?
Holidays, it's super chill. Jared's away for training, so we have our annual Friendsgiving, so we'll meet in Atlanta this year, and so we're excited about that. And that's actually a meetup for Jared and I as well, to see each other. And then we're moving, so we're relocating to Orlando, so not much of the holidays feeling or doing things or festivities. We'll try to make the best of it for sure, but
we're gonna
nothing
make
too
it
major.
festive in some
Yeah.
way, even if I have to kidnap your kids. So we're also gonna be home. This is our first year in our new house for the holidays, so I have made it very plain and very clear to our families that we are not traveling for the holidays.
That's major for you.
Yeah, we usually go to my mom and dad's house, or back to Pensacola, something. We are not. This is the first year we will be home for Christmas ever. Like, we have never spent Christmas at our house. So with this being our first home, and we have space to host people, we will be home
That's
for Christmas.
good. But you know what? Once you do it once, you're not gonna want to leave home again. Like y'all come here.
Yeah.
Because it's just easier. Yes, it's more of a headache when it comes to like setting up and make sure everything's perfect and all that
I
stuff.
don't mind that.
Right. But it's nothing like being in your own home. And I think that's why your mom have everyone come to her, right?
Yeah.
Because it's nothing like being around in your own home and creating those memories for your children.
Yeah.
Right? So yes, you want to be around your family, but y'all come on. Y'all
Yeah.
come over here and you'll find probably next year you're probably going to host again. So
Yeah. We'll see.
yeah, we hosted last year and I was like, oh, well, we've hosted before too. This last year I was thinking it was our second or third time as a family hosting our home. But the first year was like, oh yeah, everybody needs to just come to us. It's just so much easier.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, my brother and sister-in-law also purchased their first home this year. So between both of our homes, like my parents will be in Atlanta
Right.
and we will likely spend between that holiday week time with
Yeah.
each other. So
yeah.
but I'm excited about the holiday. This is my time of year.
Yeah.
It's my vibe.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I can't wait to see pictures and all that stuff. So that'll be fun.
Y'all are also welcome to, come.
We are moving.
I know, but if
So-
y'all want to get away from moving, y'all are welcome to join
I'm gonna
us
tell
in
you
Atlanta.
that right now. We're not making that stuff. I love
Hey,
you, girl.
I hear you. You gotta explain nothing to me. I'm just extending the invite in case.
I haven't got to be invited to show up. So
I mean, that's fact. That's fact. Just at least knock on the door, or just say, "Hey, friend, we on the way," so I can make sure you got somewhere to sleep.
right. So we're being reflective. What are you most grateful for?
For like in the podcast, or with
Just
my
in general,
person?
it could be you can categorize it if you want
I mean, so
to. What are
there-
you
I'm-
grateful for? Coco Melon? No.
I left Coco Melon where Coco Melon was. After Eli stopped listening to Coco Melon or watching it, I did too. So
I
don't
remix
bring
the
up
song.
that is the one. I remember that
Yeah.
song.
What are you thankful for? And I used to say, I'm thankful for my Juju. I'm thankful for my Jay. I'm thankful for Daddy each and every day. Hey.
Oh, isn't that sweet? Okay.
Such a cornball.
It's okay. Fine. It's okay. So what I'm grateful for a lot of things. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for God, most importantly, and I'm grateful just for my friends and family. And as it relates to this podcast, I'm grateful for just us pushing through.
Yeah.
Like you've shared that there have been days where me and Devin are like, one of us are like, fuck this. We done. Or I'm done. I don't want to do nothing. But I'm grateful that we have the resilience to just continue to push through because this is a masterpiece. And we will continue to perfect it. We will continue to research and work hard and do whatever we need to do to make sure we are the resource, or we continue to be the resource that we want to be for so many moms out there and even for ourselves. So yes, there are a lot of things I'm grateful for, but that's what it really boils down to in my mind right now. What about you?
I'm definitely thankful for life, family, God, of course, first and foremost. Even though this year has been a little rough, He's always been present. And my faith has gotten stronger because of the things that we've experienced this year, right? And so it was like our beginning podcast. I was like, I want to hear God. Like that was like my request. And ask and you shall receive. And I don't know if I should have been asking for that. But
Thanks for that.
And God's like, okay, you want to hear me? I'm gonna show you loud and clear, right? And we've experienced some things as a couple, as business owners. Jared and I, when I say we, even within the podcast with family. My mom had a stroke this summer, just 2 strokes. One we didn't know she had, and the second one put her in the hospital. Kendra going what she's going through, was she basically looked death in the eye and was like, not right now.
Yeah.
So just experiencing all of that internally, and I'm just thankful for life because it's precious. And we don't realize how precious it is until something like that happens, right? And we take it for granted. We take waking up for granted.
It's a
There are
very
people
delicate.
who don't wake up, you know?
Yeah.
So I try to be a little bit more mindful about that, and I need to do better because the first thing I do when I wake up is check my phone. And I'm trying to be more mindful of not doing that. Like, that's one thing I'm working on, is not doing it. I think it's habit for me because I have a long commute to work and I can't check my phone while I'm driving. And then when I'm at work, I can't check my phone. Everything's blocked. So I think that's the only opportunity I get. So I'm like, oh, let me check real quick what's going on.
Don't be nothing going on.
And don't be nothing going on. But sometimes it does. I'll catch things like, oh, friend, did you see this email or whatever like that? Because when I say everything is blocked, everything. Can't even check your email. So
That's wild to me.
right, it's crazy. So I think that's why I'm like that. Over the summer, it was easier for me, or when I know I don't have school the next day or something like that. I'm not necessarily checking my phone, but when I have work, I'm like, oh, I need to see what I missed. And I go to bed relatively early. I think now I'm starting to get to bed earlier.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm trying because, look, like I said, we have one life to live, and part of being healthy is proper rest. We think we have to grind. We gotta do this. We gotta do that. We gotta, in your 20s, not in your 30s.
I go to sleep
right.
now. I will go.
Definitely grind in your 20s when you have that energy. But when you're in your 30s, like, you can start aging.
Pace it out.
You can start, like, I'm really into, I'm into skincare right now, and look, you can start aging if you don't get the proper rest, if you're not drinking enough water, those type of things. So be mindful of that. Yes, you want to grind, and yes, you want to be successful, but that is the American way. There are plenty of people who are successful in other countries that rest.
More successful, to be honest. Right. Our travel this is one thing I love about traveling, is that you really see how the rest of the world operates. Yeah. And we got life all messed up here in the United States. Like, it is. It's gotten to the point where Jonathan's like, do you want to move out of the country? And I'm like, yes and no. Like, I would be open to it, but it's also this idea of, like, I don't want to leave my family behind, and it'll just be so much to adapt to. But the way we live here in America is just all healthy. It's not healthy.
So Jared's mom is from Nicaragua, and I think you guys heard me mention that before. And we tried to get over there as much as we can. Of course, with COVID, it stopped us for at least 3 years, right? And before that, we were getting into our careers and things like that, so we wasn't able to go. But we were able to go this summer, and it just put a lot of things in perspective for us. Yes, they don't have a lot over there. His family has land, and we probably could live over there. We've really been talking about it, and it's not that far from Miami. So if we need to get to the States, Miami is a major airport. We kind of mapped it out. But it's just like the quality of life. One, I've never felt so safe in my life being on that island. They're from a small island called Corn Island. And when I say I've never felt so safe and so free to be myself and to just wander and, kind of like being on a military base almost. I feel safe here too. But it's something about that that I couldn't put my finger on exactly, but I was like, we need to move.
It's the islands, like,
it's peaceful, the water, just
it's everything about, like, I don't know what it is. I mean, there's so many things about island life, but that's also been a conversation of, like, where do we want to retire? And Jonathan is like an island. Yeah. And we love Turks and Caicos.
We got land. Just got to build.
I need to go to Nicaragua.
Come visit. I mean, I feel like all the islands, now I've never been to all of them, but I feel like they're relatively the same, right? So, I mean, at least we got some land. Y'all just got to build on it. So, and your money go a long way over there. It's not expensive at all.
Okay, then.
$3, you rich. So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah, you don't spend a lot of money over there. The American dollar goes a long, long way. So when you're talking about retirement and things like that, quality of life, the way they eat. I mean, so while we were there, and I can stop here, but while we were there were 3 funerals that took place. All the people that passed away were in their late 90s. that just says something about the
Yeah.
quality of life. You know what I mean? Jared's grandmother is 91. I mean, and got her whole mind, walk around, self-sufficient. Just, she has asthma and she lost a little bit of her hearing, but other than that,
She's doing pretty
to
good.
go. So it's just
She's
like,
doing pretty good.
it's the quality of life. She's not stressed about anything. So it just really put things in perspective for me. And yes, I want to be close to my kids and my family and things like that. And if we do move there or move anywhere out of the country, I will make sure we have access.
Absolutely.
But, I don't think I can live in the States forever.
Yeah, Jonathan is like, he would move like next year if you were
We can't do
serious.
that, right? We gotta save up a little bit more.
The thing is, with his career, like, he has to go somewhere where they like English is like the primary language. But I mean, that's a very limited. I don't know.
They speak English there too, by the way. But, no.
Well, we might have to bring this back up in another conversation.
Yeah, so I'm always like, okay, where can we improve? So what do you think about that? How can we improve the podcast? How can we improve areas in our personal lives as well?
That is a good question. And I think the one area we can improve, and we've been doing good in improving, but we can strengthen, I should say, is our social media presence. Like, we do the daily post, and I mean, and it's good content, but I want us to, and this is even me speaking to myself, be more present, like in our, like actually be the content that we put out in our social media. So that is one area for the podcast. In my personal life, I need to prioritize self-care, period. I do the normal, I guess, maintenance in quote things, but I need to be more intentional about my spiritual walk. Like, I read my devotions here and there, but like consistently. Meditating, like I do want to get into meditation, like to start my day, working out more. Like, there are so many things that I want to grow in this new year for my own self-care. So those are just a few examples of my personal areas of growth. But yeah, what do you have?
I want to say my spiritual journey is getting stronger. But I want to get to the point, like, Jared is reading the Bible right now, front to back, start to finish, and he's like halfway done. And that's motivated me to want to do the same. And my niece sent me a link that helps you read the Bible in a year. And I was like, I'm gonna do it, and I haven't done it, right? So and she started already. Jared left me too. So I don't know what my excuse is why I'm not doing it. I just haven't done it. So I do want to do that, because watching them do it and get through it and seeing them do it, and Jared at dinner time, because we trying to talk with the kids more at dinner, have conversations and things like that. He tells us about what he learned that particular chapter that he read or things like that, and it's always insightful, and the boys have questions and things like that. I even have questions sometimes. So I'm like, I want to get to that level. So I do want to do that, and I think I'm going to start that in January to physically get my mind right. You can join me if you want to. But yeah, I want to do that. I want to do better with working out consistently, because I'll start, lose about 10 pounds, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good, and then gain them 10 pounds right back. So just making it part of my daily routine, period.
Not just for weight loss.
Yeah, not just for weight loss, and honestly, I told a friend this the other day, because she was like, I need to lose 20 more pounds. I was like, you know what? I'm not even worried about losing weight anymore. I just want to do it for lifestyle purposes. So, and I think when you change your mindset from that, I feel like naturally you would lose the weight, and you would feel good, and you would look good, and you would feel confident.
And want to work out.
So that's what I want to do. I started back running again, and the thing is, I used to be at it when we were 2016, our best year ever. Of course, the days we got married and stuff like that, our kids' birth, but just mentally where I was as a young adult. I really found myself as a woman that year. And so I was running because I only had to focus on me. Jared and I were married, but he was in grad school. I didn't have kids yet. That was the first time ever I got to really just focus on myself. So I've always given myself to people.
Yeah.
And then once we moved together, had kids, it was back to, my family. So that was the only year I was able to just do whatever the hell I wanted to do.
That was a good year.
And be in the best shape of my life, have the best health, all of that, right? And still enjoy the perks of being married and things like that. Anyway, I was running an 8-minute mile, which I couldn't even imagine doing now. But the top of the summer, I started out at almost 14-minute mile, and I cut my time to 11:51.
That's good.
Girl, went running the other day, back to 14 something. So
well, endurance takes time.
It does
to
take
build.
time. So I really want to get back to at least 11-minute mile. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm
That's
gonna root you on with the miles.
I forgot about the podcast. Sorry.
Oh, go
For
ahead.
the podcast would be social media. Us being our content. Like, we post great content. When we do post ourselves, it's just a matter of it's something else
to do.
So it's just like, why do I have to recreate this when somebody already else recreate it? I can just repost it. But no, we have new followers and they need to know us and see us, and we have good intentions. It's just a matter of doing it,
finding the time
and the time to do it, because I do want to be more present with my kids, because I'm always like, wait 1 second, I gotta make this post, or I gotta do this, I gotta make this run, I gotta comment to this, I gotta respond to this DM. But I also want to be able to put my phone down, but I also understand like what we're doing, how important our phone is.
Yeah.
So it's just like
finding that balance.
On the balance and doing that. So I do want to kind of master that. My screen time. Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm a toddler. My screen time versus the time I'm present with my kids. So
yeah, that's important. Don't always want to be mommy's working,
Yeah.
Even though mommy do gotta work, but just being more mindful of us being on these phones and computers and whatever else.
Everything. Oh, well, I think this is a good way to end the season.
It is.
I think we had a good conversation. I think we have a lot ahead of us.
We do. And our mama juice today is very simple. It's cheers to season 2.
Cheers.
And Devin is not drinking right now, so we are going to have imaginary cheers glasses with champagne.
Yeah.
And that's cheers to season 2.
Cheers. We did it. Mama's Corner, I guess we could be reflective because I don't have a question.
Okay.
And I think we asked ourselves this on season 1, but I always think it's good to constantly come back to this question and reflect, because our goals and things may change, right?
Okay.
So where do you see the Real Mama Pod in 2024?
2024. Ew. So I mentioned those events and things. So I do see us being more engaged in our communities. And I just see us growing our social media presence. That is a shared goal of me and Devin. And I also, this question should not be as hard as it is, because we always talk about what we want to do with this podcast. But I'm going to leave it at those 2 things. Yeah. Those are my 2. Yeah. This is where I see us in 2024, really working on that social component, like being out in the community and building our social media presence.
Well, I just got an idea to do that.
What you got?
So you know how they have Galentine?
Yes.
I think our first event should be a Mama Time.
Okay, like around Valentine's Day?
Yeah, somewhere around there, but not like for real Valentine's Day, but either before or after Valentine's Day, where moms and rich aunties can connect. I don't know what that looks like, but that could be our first event of the year. What you think?
I like that idea, and I think it could be successful.
So, we'll get more information out to y'all.
Yes, I mean, I feel like we have to do it now that we've talked about it.
We have to put things in the universe to hold us accountable.
Okay, I do like that idea. So we'll flush it out
We'll flush it out.
and let y'all know.
And details to come. Well, thanks for kicking it at the Mama Pod. We hope you have a restful holiday break. We
Yes.
hope that you are restored and you are excited for 2024. And we can't wait to see y'all.
And have fun with your family.
Have fun with your family.
Kick it.
Yeah.
And cheers to season 2.
Cheers to season 2. We love y'all.
We
Bye.
love you.